He stands in front of the mirror. The same man who once carried energy in every movement, now looking at a reflection that feels distant. His eyes no longer hold the spark they used to. His shoulders still broad, his frame still strong. But the light that once came from within seems dim. He cannot explain when it began. Maybe it was after 40. Or maybe after the weight of life became heavier than his own drive. Each morning, he wakes up tired. The energy that used to surge through his body feels quiet now. Even the small things that once made him feel alive now feel dull. Yet deep inside, there is something that refuses to give up. A voice that whispers, "This is not how it ends." He blames age at first. He thinks that fatigue, slow recovery, and fading desire are simply the cost of time. But what if they are not? What if the body has not grown old, but disconnected? The truth is, decline does not begin in the muscle. It begins in the conversation between blood, nerve, and hormone. When that conversation fades, so does vitality. It is not weakness, it is silence. And that silence spreads slowly, unnoticed, until one day you realize the fire inside has gone quiet. But here is the question. What if the spark you thought was gone is simply waiting to be reignited? What if the body remembers? It just needs to be reminded. For centuries, men have searched for ways to awaken that forgotten energy. Some turned to medicine, others to ritual. But a few understood that strength is not something you chase, it is something you uncover. And sometimes the key lies in the smallest places. Clove, the small brown bud you might have walked past without noticing. Hidden in this modest spice is a force that ancient men once revered as fire in solid form. It carries both warmth and wisdom, passion and control. Science now confirms what tradition always knew. Inside clove lies a natural code for restoring flow, energy, and balance. In the final part of this story, you will learn how to use it, not as a supplement, but as a ritual to awaken your own strength. Because the fire was never gone. It was only waiting for you to remember it. After fatigue, the body begins to whisper in ways it did not before. Energy dips, focus fades, and strength feels harder to summon. Many men believe this is simply aging. But science tells a killer truth. Each year, testosterone falls by about 1%. The blood vessels lose flexibility, and the nerves that once carried signals like lightning begin to slow their transmission. The change is gradual, invisible at first, but over time it shapes how a man feels, moves, and desires. The body slows, not from age alone, but from the invisible corrosion of time. Inside this process, oxidative stress plays its role. Free radicals, unstable molecules formed from pollution, poor diet, or chronic tension attack healthy cells. They wear down the lining of blood vessels, disturb the balance of hormones, and dull the communication between brain and body. Circulation weakens, oxygen flow drops, and energy turns into fatigue. Stress, both physical and emotional, accelerates this decline. The man who once moved through the world with purpose begins to feel heavy without reason. Studies from Harvard and the National Institutes of Health confirm what experience already shows. Oxidative damage and vascular aging are the silent architects of male decline. They do not announce themselves with pain or warning, but they erode performance, mood, and confidence from the inside out. Yet within this science of decay lies the potential for renewal. Among nature's defenses, one small source stands out: the clove. Known as a natural antioxidant powerhouse, it contains eugenol, beta-caryophyllene, and flavonoids compounds proven to combat oxidative stress, improve blood flow, and protect nerve function. What medicine describes as biochemical repair, ancient traditions once saw as a return of vitality. When modern research isolates molecules, it sees mechanisms and pathways. When ancient wisdom held the same spice, it saw life force and balance. Both are speaking of the same truth in different languages. The power to slow decline is not only in treatment, but in reconnection between the man and his body, between awareness and action, because aging does not steal strength. It only tests whether we remember how to nurture it. And in that test, even a forgotten spice can become a bridge between science and spirit. Long before science gave names to molecules, there was an island called Maluku in Indonesia where the air itself carried the scent of spice. Traders from Arabia, India, and China once sailed across dangerous seas for one reason: only clove, a small brown bud that weighed less than a feather, yet was worth more than gold. To hold a handful of it was to hold warmth, energy, and fire itself. When you touch a clove to your tongue, something remarkable happens. A rush of heat spreads gently, awakening every sense. It burns, but softly, not to hurt, but to remind you that life is movement. That sensation comes from Eugenol, a compound that lightly stimulates sensory nerves, increases circulation, and sharpens awareness. It does not force energy, it invites it. It teaches the body to remember how to feel alive again. Inside this tiny bud lies a unique balance of stimulation, circulation, and calmness, three forces working together in perfect rhythm. The stimulation comes from its natural oils that awaken the nervous system, the circulation from its ability to expand blood vessels, improving oxygen and nutrient flow, the calmness from its anti-inflammatory nature that soothes tension and restores equilibrium. This triad is what makes clove different from every other spice. It does not just heat the body, it harmonizes it. From the heart that pumps blood, to the lungs that carry breath, to the gut that fuels digestion, each system feels its gentle influence. And these are the very systems that define a man's endurance, focus, and vitality. When they move in balance, energy is not lost through struggle, it flows through purpose. Clove carries this ancient intelligence. It does not try to overpower the body, but to awaken it, like a quiet spark touching dry wood. It brings back fire, not through pressure, but through memory. It reminds the body how to circulate, how to breathe, and how to respond. It wakes up what has been asleep. Not by force, but by remembering. Because true power is never found in what is new, but in what has always been inside, waiting for a reason to rise again. At the center of the clove's ancient power lies one molecule, simple in structure, yet fast in influence. Its name is Eugenol. For centuries, it has been known for its aroma, but modern science has uncovered its deepest secret. It speaks the language of blood, nerve, and endurance. Eugenol belongs to a family of natural phenolic compounds that hold remarkable biological abilities. One of its most powerful traits is vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels. This single action changes everything. When blood vessels expand, of circulation improves. Oxygen reaches the tissues faster, and the body feels alive again. For men, this means stronger endurance, faster recovery, and greater sensitivity. It is not an artificial boost, but a restoration of natural flow. When blood moves freely, life moves freely. Beyond circulation, Eugenol is a master defender against inflammation. It neutralizes free radicals that damage cells and protects the delicate lining of blood vessels and nerves. By reducing oxidative stress, it keeps the nervous system alert and the hormonal balance stable. A 2020 study published in the British Medical Journal and research from the Journal of Natural Products in 2018 both revealed how eugenol enhances endothelial function, the ability of blood vessels to respond, relax, and deliver oxygen efficiently. This is the biological foundation of stamina, focus, and control, but eugenol does not work alone. Within clove is another hidden ally called beta-caryophyllene. This compound interacts directly with CB2 receptors in the endocannabinoid system, the body's natural network that governs calm, recovery, and emotional stability. When activated, it helps reduce anxiety and tension, creating a sense of inner steadiness. This combination, eugenol for energy and beta-caryophyllene for calm, gives clove its rare dual nature. It ignites power without chaos and restores focus without aggression. At the molecular level, eugenol also triggers the production of nitric oxide through the enzyme nitric oxide synthase. Nitric oxide is a key messenger that relaxes blood vessels and sustains endurance. It is the same biological pathway targeted by many performance-enhancing medicines, yet nature built it perfectly inside a single bud of spice. This shows that the secret to strength has never been in synthetic force, but in reactivating what the body already knows how to do. When oxygen flows and inflammation calms, the body reclaims its rhythm. Muscles perform longer, nerves communicate clearly, and the mind gains control over reaction and emotion. In that balance, confidence returns naturally, not from outside stimulation, but from within. Strength, after all, is not about pushing harder. It is about restoring the inner current that time has slowed. And in that current, eugenol becomes not just a molecule, but a reminder that power is not lost with age. It only waits for flow to begin again. Long before laboratories measured molecules, ancient healers understood the mystery of clove through experience. Across India, the Middle East, and Africa, this small bud was known as a keeper of fire. It was carried in pockets by travelers, mixed in oils by healers, and steeped in teas by men seeking clarity and strength. In every culture it touched, clove became more than a spice. It became a symbol of warmth, purification, and renewal. In the Ayurvedic tradition of India, it is called laung, known as a warming spice that stirs the inner flame, called Agni. Agni is not only digestion, it is the energy of life, the spark that moves thought into action and desire into strength. Men used it to awaken vitality, to bring focus, and to balance the coldness of fatigue and emotional dullness. A pinch of clove oil in warm milk or a few buds chewed before meditation were believed to connect body and mind through breath and awareness. In Unani medicine, which grew from Greek and Arab wisdom, clove was used to calm the stomach, refresh the breath, and strengthen the heart. Ancient Egyptian records show it mixed with honey to purify the blood and increase circulation. Everywhere it appeared, it was linked to movement, warmth, and awakening. This shared knowledge across continents carries one truth. The fire within the spice mirrors the fire within the man. To heal the body is to rekindle that inner flame, the same energy that gives courage, purpose, and vitality. Clove became both medicine and metaphor, reminding men that true power is not cold or harsh, but warm and alive. It is not by chance that both East and West saw clove as a bridge between strength and purification. It burns gently, drives away stagnation, and restores clarity. The ancients understood what we are only beginning to remember, that in this tiny bud lives the essence of life itself. Warmth, balance, and the quiet fire that keeps a man alive from the inside out. The secret of clove does not lie only in its chemistry, but in the way it is used. Too little, and its effect fades into the background. Too much and its fire turns against the body. The key is discipline of the same quality that defines a man who values his strength. The man who respects the dose earns the power. There are two simple and effective ways to use clove. The first is the chewing ritual. Take 2 or 3 dried buds, place them in your mouth, and chew slowly until the warmth begins to rise. Let the oil spread gently. Do not rush. As the taste deepens, the body awakens. The essential oil, Eugenol, is absorbed through the mucous membranes in the mouth, sending signals to the nervous system that enhance alertness, circulation, and balance. Doing this before a meal improves digestion, and doing it before an intimate moment enhances confidence and focus. The second way is through clove tea. Place 2 or 3 buds in hot water and let them steep for about 10 minutes. The water will turn light brown and carry a subtle aroma that both energizes and calms. Drink it warm, not hot. This tea helps digestion, supports circulation, and can be taken in the morning to prepare the body or at night to relax the mind. Jed power always demands respect. More than 5 buds at once can irritate the stomach, increase acidity, or cause dizziness. Clove is potent, not gentle, and should never be taken carelessly. Those who use blood-thinning medicines such as aspirin or warfarin must avoid it, as clove can amplify their effects. Anyone with stomach ulcers or low blood pressure should also refrain from consuming it directly. In every practice of health, moderation is mastery. The goal is not to consume more, but to awaken better. A few buds, taken with awareness, do more for vitality than excess ever could. When used with patience, clove becomes not a quick remedy, but a quiet ritual of strength, teaching the body how to remember its rhythm again. True power does not come from force. It comes from respect for balance, and from the wisdom to know that less, when used with intention, is always enough. In the language of spices, balance is everything. Clove carries fire, focus, and strength, while cardamom brings calm, clarity, and coolness alone. Each holds power. Together, they create harmony. One awakens the body, the other steadies the mind. When combined, they form a quiet partnership between energy and peace. Cardamom, known as the queen of spices, has long been used in both Ayurvedic and Persian traditions to open the breath, relax tension, and support digestion. Its cooling nature soothes the nervous system and clears the pathways of circulation. It helps the body release pressure, allowing blood to move with greater ease. Clove, on the other hand, brings warmth, stimulation, and vitality. It strengthens the same pathways that cardamom opened, giving direction and force to the flow of energy. When the two meet, something remarkable happens. Cardamom opens the gate, clove carries the flame. Together they create balance between stimulation and serenity. They fight oxidative stress, support hormonal harmony, and enhance mental focus. One prepares, the other activates. One calms the nerves, the other fuels the blood. This natural duet speaks to what every man seeks: energy with control, strength with composure. To experience this harmony, the method is simple. Place 2 cloves and 2 green cardamoms into warm water. Let them steep for 10 minutes and drink slowly, either in the early morning or before sleep. The aroma alone begins to clear the mind, and the warmth that follows settles into the body like a quiet pulse of balance. With consistency, this small ritual becomes more than a drink. It becomes a daily act of grounding and renewal. In a world where men are often told to choose between strength and peace, This union offers another path. Clove teaches the body to awaken. Cardamom teaches the heart to remain steady. In their partnership lies the lesson of endurance, that real power is not intensity without rest, but rhythm without interruption. In their harmony lies the secret of control and endurance, the kind of balance that keeps the fire burning without ever losing its calm. The true effect of clove is not only chemical, it is psychological. Its strength comes not just from eugenol or antioxidants, but from the ritual that surrounds its use. When a man prepares his clove tea or slowly chews the buds, he is doing more than consuming a spice. He is sending a message to his own body, a signal that says, it is time to awaken. Rituals shape biology in quiet and powerful ways. Modern science calls it conditioning. The body learns to associate certain actions, scents, and sensations with readiness. When repeated with intention, this becomes a form of self-programming. The mind recognizes the scent of clove, the warmth on the tongue, the calm that follows, and responds by releasing signals that prepare the body for focus and control. In this process, cortisol levels often decrease, heart rate steadies, and the parasympathetic nervous system becomes more active. This system governs calmness, digestion, and recovery, the very foundation of male balance. When it awakens, confidence rises naturally. The man who feels in control of his body no longer forces power, he embodies it. The aroma of clove carries this dual energy. It is warm yet grounding, sharp yet soothing. It tells the nervous system to stay alert but not anxious, awake but not restless. Over time, the act of preparing or consuming clove becomes a personal ritual of alignment where chemistry meets awareness. Many men who practice this daily report not only better focus and energy, but also a quiet sense of control, a calm alertness that stays even in pressure. Rituals have always been part of human strength. Warriors, monks, and athletes all use small acts to train the mind before the body. Clove continues that tradition in a modern form. It is not superstition. It is science shaped by awareness. Each time you pause, breathe, and prepare it, you are training your body to respond with calm strength, because confidence is not noise. It is rhythm. It is the ability to feel the pulse of your own body and trust it completely. The ritual of clove reminds you that control is not taken from the world. It is created within. Time does not take strength away. It only invites wisdom to take its place. Age does not steal power. It simply changes the way it is expressed. The young man moves through force. The older man moves through understanding. The energy that once rushed now flows with direction. And in that rhythm lies a deeper kind of strength. Clove reminds us of this truth. Its warmth is steady, not wild. Its fire is quiet, not reckless. It teaches that vitality is not about resistance but about harmony. The body does not lose its fire with years. It only forgets how to feed it. What the mind calls aging is often just imbalance, a slowing of blood, a dulling of nerve, a fading of awareness. Restore those three, and the man feels alive again. Blood, nerve, and mind. These are the three pillars of endurance. Blood carries energy. Nerve carries intention. Mind carries control. When they move together, time becomes an ally instead of an enemy. Strength returns not through effort but through reconnection. Clove works quietly within these three dimensions. It clears circulation, sharpens neural response, and calms the thoughts that scatter energy. It reminds the body that power is not in tension but in flow. To experience this truth, try a simple path. For 14 days, make clove part of your rhythm. Chew 2 buds before breakfast or prepare a cup of clove tea before rest. Do not expect instant fire. Expect awakening. Watch your sleep, your digestion, your mood, and your focus. The changes come not as a rush,